Charla, Charla, I love you, and I miss you. You are a beautiful goddess on this planet. I love you, and I miss you. I love you, and I miss you. I miss you, Charla. Pick up the phone and call me. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Today, I am in Vaughn Road Park here in Montgomery, Alabama. It's quite nostalgic for me to even be out here. I'm gonna recall my experience with Charla and discuss a few other things today. So thank you again for being here with us. We'll call Mama Nebthet in. Mama Nebthet, thank you for guiding, guarding, and protecting me through the Kundalini Awakening process. You've been there since the day of my awakening. I love you so much. And Charla loved you so much. Charla created AMENRA without having that image of me with my arms crossed. That was a picture I took when I was a pre-K lead teacher. And she had never seen that picture, but she created AMENRA with my scrolls, and then she even put a raven figure on my shoulder. Because the times when she and I were together, even in Atlanta, you would be around. And I said, there's Mama Nebthet. Or she would say, hey, there's Mama Nebthet. She's here. But anyway, I love her. I love her so much. Charla, I miss you. You know, I wanted to talk to you all today about expressing love to those in your life who love you and whom you love. How important that is, because they can be here 1 minute and gone the next. This park, Vaughn Road Park, back when I was in high school, I guess, and Charla and I met, and to be honest, I was still at that time not certain about my sexuality, and I did not want to be dishonest with her, but we set about having a relationship. And while we could have been anywhere partying or doing what all high school students do, we would go and get a pizza and come to this park and, you know, sit out in the park and talk and get to know each other. And she, like very few other people I've known all my life, is someone I could be truly authentic with. I could be myself. I could say anything, I could do anything, and I could get her feelings about it. And she was always, throughout all the years we knew each other, so honest with me about everything. I miss her so much. As you all know, we are discussing missing black people, black eradication, and then today we're going to add further discussion on misdiagnosis and the importance of looking closely into things for yourself. So let me grab my notes here just to show you all again my book, There Is No HIV, The Rainbow Warrior, Exposing the Truth About HIV Antibody Testing and the Metaphysics of Self-Healing Through Chakra and Kundalini Awareness. The book is doing well. It is not accurately representing who I am today. However, it is helpful to anyone who is awakening and dealing with the horrors of receiving a bogus HIV diagnosis, learning all about self-healing and the chakras. Very important information. I have gotten it into several libraries in Georgia and Alabama. As well, it is available to be ordered from any bookseller online. Okay, thank you for that. My notes here. Let's see. Yes, I did want to talk about Charlotte. I miss you. You know, in that process that we've learned about black eradication, and really hundreds of thousands of black people go missing, and nobody ever looks into where they are. I guess they get exhausted or hopeless, and they don't do anything. But throughout my years, I've met so many people. The lady who was at one of the leasing agents where I used to live at MLK, you could just look at her and tell that there was an inner sadness because her sister had been missing for 12 years. 12 years. You know, I used to often always complain. You know, if I've been murdered with HIV like all of my other friends, I don't think anybody would have done anything because I'm gay. And they would think I was getting what I deserved. And, you know, this is just what's happening these days. But I would have been being murdered. And all these years I've been out here screaming about the stigma of receiving a diagnosis when there's no science to prove it. And here I am, the living proof, and still alive. And I deal with lifelong HIV stigma. I've sang about it. I've talked about it. I've done everything that I can. And, you know, very rarely, if ever, do I get one comment or someone to express any compassion for what I'm going through. And I know there are others of you out there who stopped taking those medications and are living as full of life as you can. So, anyway, I have so many feelings about that. But anyway, I also want to thank my mother. She's the one other person that I can talk to about anything. My mother is conscious. Unlike people who come into consciousness, have family members who push them away because they're not at that level of awareness and, you know, don't like truth. Some people don't like the truth. But anyway, so it is a very isolating position to find yourself in. And so I've dealt with that over 24 years. So I'm not going to be dishonest that every day is not a continual struggle, because it is. And so if you're going through that, just know that we love you. The spiritual world is aware of what we're dealing with. And this is a part of the process of being placed in places to see all the things that are happening so that you can do something about it to the level of your best ability. And be of use to our people. Our ancestors shine on that kind of behavior, and I hope that you'll muster the courage to realize the illusion of this existence and the realization of the putrefaction process we are in, spiritually transforming to carry out our missions here. And that'll lead me right to Bobby Hemmit, who talks about the prophecy. The elite know who we are. They know what's going on, and therefore we have been under attack for many years, including cloning, HIV, misdiagnosis, missing people, organ harvesting, control of world populations, domination through sexual control and fear, and profiting off the suffering and death of innocent people. Okay, these are very real issues that need to be examined. But they know the prophecy of the return of the Great Divine Mother and of us being the fallen ones, the chosen ones, returned to the planet. So we have been under attack. And in fact, were it not for chemicals in food, dehydration, and us not being aware, we would have realized that back in 1998, I believe the prophecy said that we would rise. But our pineal glands are calcified. And so now it's almost like we're trying to reverse some of the horrible processes. But because we have melanin, you know, just changing your mind to study things that are conscious affects the DNA. Melanin is indestructible. It is always changing and adapting. So when you change your mind, you can get back into full consciousness expansion and your body can continue to develop. So that's why I continue drinking water. That's why my mother makes nutritious meals and I watch her so I can learn how to cook. You know, I'm a single man. You know, I can cook the basics because she prepared us as children for that, washing our clothes, cleaning our environment. And then as a teacher, you have to be organized. So I'm good at organization. But I do all that I can being under entity attack. Because I know the prophecy. I realize what is happening, and I still want to fight to fulfill my mission from Sirius B on this planet. Now, today, again, I told you Mama Nebthet will place a presentation to follow one of mine, and it was called, How Do I Know If I've Been Hexed, and What Can I Do? Something like that, I believe it's called. I forget the lady's name, but if you put that title in YouTube, you can listen to it. I showed it to my mother, I listened to it, and I learned all about how hexes and generational curses can be placed on people, yet there are things you can do to have those removed. I want to also caution you to be very careful when you're online and you're talking to people, especially people who aren't mature enough to understand disagreements. You know, we can agree to disagree and still be able to state how we feel about whatever the issue. But some people do get upset. Some people do hex people. And I wonder sometimes if that happened to me, because I have some very powerful spiritual friends. And, you know, if you're dealing with me, there's going to be conflict. And sometimes you have to make a decision whether you're going to continue in relationship with that person or you're going to move on in your own walk, carrying out your own spiritual mission. And sometimes people can get upset about that and create havoc in your life. So I've taught the Akasha Maharic Seal meditation to draw up energetic pale silver light protection around yourself from the center of the earth through that chakra below the foot. Create that cylinder around your body and up over your head and shoot it out into the cosmos back to the Divine Mother. So you can also learn that. I think it's like 23 steps or so to that meditation. No, that's the macabre I'm thinking. This is a very shorter one. Look into Lisa Renee of Energetic Synthesis or Google it online and learn that meditation. And then there's also a quick seal, it's called. Once you establish it, you can just do a quick seal throughout each and every day. I've posted that also online for years. Okay? It protects against scalar wave attacks that technology, our government is launching at us. You know, I feel so sad for Bobby Hemmit I. My own personal opinion is that his stroke was a result of someone spiritually attacking him. He's talked about toothaches. He's talked about all manner of attacks, all of which I have also gone through. And you know, we don't know, but these attacks can be very serious. So do guard yourself against that with your own spiritual power. Okay. What else did I want to say here? About the people who have had the courage, Jacoby, Goldie, Jason, to come forward and talk about misdiagnosis. Dr. Banks has clearly stated in her book, The Slow Death of the Cancer AIDS Paradigm, and something about the eukaryotic cell, that per year 400,000 people are killed by Dr. Error and misdiagnosis. 400,000 per year are killed. And so it just so happens when I reflected on the fact that I talked to Jacoby on the streets of Birmingham in part 2 of that Birmingham Busting Up Bogus HIV presentation, as well as Jason and Goldie, all were misdiagnosed just as I was, especially when HIV has never even been proved to exist. Jacoby talked about his mother, who was schizophrenic, and when he was when he was 18, the doctors, because of his family history, tried to get him to take drugs, and he was cheeking those meds. They call them meds, but they are drugs. They are killer drugs with direct effects, not side effects. Okay? So watch your language. Language is very powerful. Thoughts carry energy, and so do words. Okay? Also, Goldie came out on his roller, you know, and talked about all the manner of symptoms that he has endured as a result of taking those toxic drugs, which I had the good sense to stop taking after I had numbness in my fingers and toes, you know, and how people deal with the breasts growing on men and peripheral neuropathy. when you can hardly, and a regular gait when you can hardly walk straight. So the people who are doing all these things to us, they are very sinister. And you need to realize that that is very real. So it's important to stand strong in your own Godhood and look into things for yourself. Because of these eclipses that have been happening, when that light is blocked out, spiritual entities rush in. Bobby Hemmit has talked extensively about this. He says there are millions of entities here, and they are causing change in this planet. So things are happening. We just may not hear about them because they never make the news. But lava, though, is the entity that causes volcanoes. Otincha works with fire. What's going on in California now? And then there are the black waters that are happening in areas that we're not being told about. Also, we have learned through Bobby Hemmit that the elite perform rituals, and they usually do it during the solstices, winter solstice, all the solstices, and sports activities, Olympics, Super Bowls, and that kind of thing, to harness the energy of people and distract them from other things that they are actually doing. Okay? So, keep that in mind. Let's see what else here I want to talk about. The theology of hate and anger. If you haven't seen that Bobby Hemmit presentation, I suggest you get right on it. And I love it because I have always felt anger, particularly since receiving that bogus diagnosis. But yet I denied it because I was raised Catholic and we were taught love, love, love mentality, forgive. Forgive them 70 times, 7 times. I grew up in that. And by doing that, I became a people pleaser. I never said what was really on my mind, particularly when I was being offended. And so I'm not like that anymore, and I'm so glad. And it's justified by the theology of hate and anger. If you wake up knowing what you know about the mythology, and that this is an illusion, and then learning all the things that are happening to us, that have happened to you, and that are going to continue to happen as the elite, knowing the prophecy, continue to sustain their own existence for as long as they can. It would have been in 1998, but here it is, 2018. Now, we're the chosen ones. Something major is to happen through us by being here at this time. And if you are not participating so that the collective consciousness, the energy of the collective consciousness can affect change, you really need to take a look at yourself and decide whether you are truly conscious or really bogus conscious. We are eternal beings. There is nothing that is here that will not be with us later. People who have passed, little children, even if they happen to fall by the wayside. Everything is all about the children here. And again, I taught children, but Bobby Hemmit has clearly laid out that we are the ones who are important during this time. It is us who are going to make change. And either you're going to be a part of that or you're going to be a problem to that. Now, I don't care if it's hard to hear, because somebody has to say it just like he said it to us. To contemplate, to meditate, and to take action. So that's what I'm all about. I hope that's what you're all about. I want to say thank you all again to everybody who shows me love and support. I send it right back to you. I really miss you, Charla. I can hardly wait to see you again. You and Everett and all the other people, including the ones that DAVIDA mentioned, along with her brother being murdered with bogus HIV and her discovering Dr. Nancy Turner Banks' book. And then 40 friends she said she had. 40 friends. And she's not the only one. Everybody's family has someone who's been murdered with bogus HIV. And now the Black Eradication thing. So I'm going to continue to look into that. Whether anything can be done, I don't know. But I'm going to do my part. And I hope you'll do yours too. That's why we're here. No other reason. Not to bogus love, 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 but to get angry when we wake up in this illusion, this nightmare illusion. And we're going to do our part, and I know you're going to do yours, okay? I am Dr. Damian Q. Lester, the Conscious Dr. Rainbow Warrior. Busting up bogus HIV worldwide, healing the sacral chakra. Metaphysics is the science of our ancestors at the temple of Luxor. Knowledge of the chakras. Okay? Have a great week coming up. Tomb